Hey, it's Joe from Regina Public Library, and welcome to Ready, Set, Kindergarten. It's week 6 in our spring session, and today we've got some really cool stuff going on. But first, we're going to practice our lining up. So today I got my story stones, and remember, lineups go one after the other. And we do it with people and the kids and at school. And we go one after the other. We're not touching each other and we're not wiggling and squirming. And then the person at the front, usually the adult, the teacher, would say, all right, everyone follow. So when you follow, you go one after the other and everybody kind of goes together just like a train. So practice lining things up at home. You can line up with the people in your house. When you go to the drive-thru, that's a lineup. See, the cars go one after the other. And when you get back to going out to the grocery store and things, there are lineups. So once you start learning how to line up and waiting for your turn or waiting for the person in front of you to go, it's a skill you'll be using for life. All right, so we've lined up, we've followed into the classroom. And now it's time to sit down, all right? And when we're sitting in our classroom on the floor, you can cross your legs. It's a good idea to crisscross your legs, just like this. That way you stay in one place and you got a little bit of space between you and the kids next door, next beside you. Are you ready? I got my drum, and I got myself the Bumblebee song. And I think today we will do our syllables. That's the segments of your name. Are you ready? Higgledy-piggledy bumblebee, can you say your name for me? What's your name? Wyatt. Wyatt. Two drums. Wyatt. You can do that on your legs. You can clap. Higgledy-piggledy bumblebee, can you drum your name for me? What's your name? Douglas. Douglas. Good morning, Douglas. Are you ready? Higgledy-piggledy bumblebee, can you drum your name for me? What's your name? Sophie. Sophie. 2 claps. So there's been 2 claps in Wyatt, 2 in Douglas, and 2 in Sophie. There's one more name we're going to do this morning. Higgledy-piggledy bumblebee, can you clap your name for me? What's your name? Emma. Emma. Remember how many claps in Joe's name? Yep. Joe. If you wanted to put Teacher Joe, you get 3 claps. All right. Set aside the drum. We'll be using it later. Okay. Ah! This is my friend. He is a Triceratops model. Just like dinosaurs that get found in the ground, he's a fossil. And I have had more trouble with this crazy fossil thing because I keep breaking it and pieces fall off it. And I tried to glue it. But anyway, I want to sing a cool dinosaur song about my baby dinosaur. Put your feet down and make some stomping noises. I didn't wear my shoes so my stomping doesn't get too loud for the camera. Are you ready? You sit there. I'm bringing home a baby dinosaur. Won't my mummy fall down on the floor? I'm bringing home a baby dinosaur. Whoa! No! He won't fit through the door. When you sing that, Sing it in a great big deep voice, like a brontosaurus. But maybe you could sing it in a little teeny voice, like some teeny tiny dinosaur. Dinosaurs have been found, their skeleton bones have been found all over the world. And there's a special place in Canada, that's the country we live in. It's in a province called Alberta. And in Alberta, they have found, in a place called the Badlands, all sorts of dinosaur skeletons and bones. And they've even named one called an Albertosaurus. So in the Badlands, near a place called Drumheller, there's a cool dinosaur museum and all sorts of bones and stuff you can learn about out in Alberta. So maybe one day you'll get out there. But Robert Heidbreder wrote this book. It's called Drumheller Dinosaur Dance. It was illustrated by Bill Slavin and Esperanca, Melo, and the publisher's Kids Can Press, so it's a Canadian book as well. If you get something around the house, like a drum or something you can make noise with, I'll give you a second, go get it, and we'll be back to read this story that has a great beat to drum. All right, so are you set? And here we go. I'm down on the floor where I read these books so you can see all the pictures. Drumheller Dinosaur Dance by Robert Heidbreder and Bill Slavin, and Esperanca Melo did the illustrations. It was published by Kids Can Press. Let's get our Drumheller Dinosaur Dance going. Drumheller dinosaurs lie around, bones buried deep in ancient ground. Dry bones rest in dusty sleep, skulls, claws, jaws down dinosaur deep. Drumheller dinosaurs make no noise. All day they're as silent as dinosaur toys. But when the moon rises in the sky, Drumheller dinosaurs transmogrify. They stir their bones from secret cracks and assemble themselves, fronts, sides, and backs. Drumheller dinosaurs rise up tall. Across the Badlands they skeleton crawl. They creep to a spot that they all know. They band together. Roar! 1, 2, 3, go! They grab buried drums and begin a beat. They rattle, clack, stomp on dinosaur feet. Boom-ba-dee boom, rattly clack, thumpity thump thump, wickety whack. Cymbals crash, stone castanets snap. They dance back to life with a clickety clack. Boom-ba-dee boom, rattly clack, thumpity thump, wickety whack. Oh, were you drumming along? They tango, fandango, and break dance with ease. They whirl on their tails and twirl on their knees. Boom-ba-dee boom, rattly clack, thumpity thump, wickety whack. Don't want to miss a page. With wild tambourines, they shimmy and shake. They rock and they roll. It's a dino earthquake. Boom-ba-dee boom, rattly clack, thumpity thump thump, wickety whack. The thunderous beat rolls into town. Sleep is disturbed for miles around. A terrible storm, the grown-ups shout. But the kids all know that the dinos are out. The Dinosaurs' party is loud and long, with drumming and dancing and Drumheller song. Boomity boom, rattly clack, thumpity thump, wickety whack. The kids go to sleep to the dinosaur beat. They bob their heads, tip-tap their feet. They dance in their dreams with wiggles and jiggles, smiles on their faces, and mouth full of giggles. But when dark night gives way to the day, Drumheller dinosaurs stash their drums away. Then off they clatter through dinosaur land, keeping the beat of their Drumheller band. Boomity boom, rattly clack, thumpity thump, wickety whack. Across the badlands they creep to their beds, unsnap tired bones, bury sleepy heads. They're deep in the earth by dawn's first light, where they wait all day long for dinosaur night. Here we go. Nothing beats a good dinosaur story. So remember, Drumheller is in Canada. Maybe one day you will get there. I'm going to set that aside on my drum, and I'm back up on my stepping stool and all organized, because this is today's hands-on, super cool learning activity and creation of mess. So, I'm making sure the table's covered, because we're going to do something that I'm going to hold these way close to the camera. I'm hoping Denise can see little parts in them. How close can I get there, Denise? Because in these little rocks that I found down on the beach on the shore of Lake Simcoe, there are little marks and things that were left by creatures. This one here, actually, I think it looks like it was left by a worm. And they're right in the rock. That's called a fossil. And that's usually a clue where the paleontologists, the scientists that look for dinosaur bones, find dinosaurs and their bones. So if you're down at the beach, or even if you're out walking somewhere and you see some pretty bumpy looking rocks like this, check with the adult you're with before you pick things up, but check and see, and you might find little bits of fossil in your rocks. And I found this one, and I'm gonna get a hammer and put some goggles on later and take it outside, because I got a feeling if I split that, there might be something cool inside, because they kind of look the same lumpy looking rock. Anyway, rocks, outdoors, shells, all that stuff. So I think it's time for mud pies. We can actually make our own kind of dinosaur scenes. So I went out to the yard, I got some soil, I mixed it up, and we're going to do two different kinds. So now what I was kind of sad about is my dinosaurs are all still at the library building and not at my house, so I couldn't do any dinosaur things. But you can make mud pies. Alright, nice, fresh, gooey mud pies. If the adults don't want you having mud, you can use coffee and make Play-Doh with the coffee, and it'll all go brown and dirty, so it'll give you that same kind of thing. You can make a mud pie, put it on your plate, or like use the lid off a yogurt container. Now, when I was down at the lake, I found some shells, so you can press the shell in and make a little dent in it. I thought this was kind of cool, because that was off a pine tree, and that'll make some, so it's kind of like playing with Play-Doh but mud, and it's going to make some dents in there. And I found this off the spruce tree, and that's a cone thing. So we can put this out in the sun, got myself a good looking mud pie. Now, the other way you could do this is I'll take the rest of my mud and I'll scoop it up. Oopsie, make a mess. If you have the opportunity, again, when you're near the lakes or rivers or streams, make sure you have an adult with you. And ask if you can have some of the soil from the side of a stream or a creek, because often it's got a lot of clay in it, which means it will go really, really super hard and not crumble up the same as mud will. So I made another mud pie. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use some of the things I found at the beach, just because I like the nature-y part of the beach, and we are so close to the lake, living here in Georgina. I found some sticks in my yard, and I got the spruce cone, and maybe I'll sprinkle a little bit of a seed pod, and I can set this here. Now, if I had some little plastic toys, like the kind you get out of Kinder Eggs and sometimes like that, or at the dollar store, I could put some dinosaurs or some bits and pieces in there and put some creatures in. But now, so I have kind of a diorama kind of scene, and if I put this outside, it'll dry hard, because you got to make mud pies bake in the sun. That's the cool part. And then I have this one that's kind of like a fossil. And when it dries, it will be a lighter color, the soil will be. So that's kind of a science thing in there. And I have a nice wet washcloth to get some of the mud off my hands before it's time to talk about something very exciting that's coming soon to our library, to the library website. It will soon be time for Summer Reading Club. And this year, you're going to be able to do your summer reading or your summer listening to books and stories at home, like usual. And we will have a special program on our website where an adult signs you up to the Summer Reading Club, and you can keep track of all your books on there, and you'll get to win virtual badges for all sorts of things and accomplishments and activities that you do, and you're listening and you're reading. And at the end of doing all the things that we ask you to do, there will be a special surprise, a little something that will come in the mail for you. Anyway, my name is Jo, and I'm from the Georgina Public Library, and I want to thank you all for joining us today. We will be having some storytime programs starting on Wednesdays next week, and we'll see you back for Ready Set Kindergarten in the summer. So let's get our head and shoulders ready to go. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Hands up high and wave goodbye. Our hands wave goodbye. Our hands wave goodbye. Library time is over now. Our hands wave goodbye. Goodbye, Riley. Goodbye, Nolan. Goodbye, Leah. We'll see you here again. Goodbye, Caden. Goodbye, Ella. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you here again.